It's because of this church's generosity and the gifts made to our unified budget that I have the privilege of introducing to you one of this year's Missions Plus recipients. The Missions Plus program, as you'll recall, is a way that our congregation is engaged in giving above and beyond our yearly designated missions budget. Therefore, our Missions Plus recipients offer us the opportunity and touch points to see and experience God's mission both near and far. At this time, I'd like to invite Diana Oestreich, who represents one of our Missions Plus recipients, Preemptive Love Coalition. This year, we awarded 7 different organizations funding, in which Preemptive Love Coalition is one. Diana serves as the Key Relationships Officer, and she also has a personal story as a soldier who served in Iraq that has greatly influenced and shaped her understanding of calling and the work that she does alongside PLC. So Diana, most of us in this room are not really familiar with the Preemptive Love Coalition and its mission and vision. I'd ask you if you would share a little bit about what it is that they stand for and the people that they serve.
So simply put, we believe in going where no one else will go to love those who no one else will love. We believe that love overpowers darkness every single time. And this comes out of our conviction that Christ hung on the cross for us while we were yet still his enemies and gave himself up for us in love. And so we want to do the same thing. We want to follow him and love our enemies and restore our hearts and remake the world one person at a time. And we do that in Iraq and Iran and Libya, in places of deep conflict and violence.
How do you do that specifically?
We provide life-saving heart surgeries. There are thousands of children in Iraq from the decades of violence and weapons. They're born with holes in their hearts. And they're born into a country where, due to the violence and the devastation, their country is helpless to give them these surgeries. And so we see that, and we know that love shows up. And so as we provide these surgeries, we're getting to show up and care for children of people who've been told their whole lives that we're their enemies. And so when your enemy saves your child's life, there's a new story, and love changes it. And so we are there to unmake violence and remake the world with a love. We like to call it preemptive love because it trusts someone who doesn't already trust you first. And it chooses to show up, even when you're not sure how it's going to go, such as places like Iraq.
So as you can tell, you can see why the Missions Committee chose Preemptive Love Coalition to be a recipient of funding. Would you share with us the impact of our gift and what that was able to do in your work?
So your community funded a heart surgery trip to Iran in July, and I got to be part of that trip. So because your community was so generous and chose to confront Iran with love instead of suspicion, there are 17 children in Iran parading around with mended hearts. And the scar on their chest is a testament that someone they've been told to fear has loved them. So that is your legacy and your impact, and I am so grateful to get to celebrate with you that you have changed the world in Iran today.
Did you hear that? 17 lives were changed with a gift given from this congregation. Good things are happening. One of the stories that you told through your email, which I hope that you'll share now, was what a mom told you about what her hopes were for her daughter who had surgery.
I got to sit on the side of a bed with a mother named Seema, and we were waiting for her feisty little 4-year-old daughter to get called into surgery. And as a mom, it's a tense time when you're waiting, and you're not sure if your child will come back. And so we sat there, and I asked her, I said, "What are your hopes and dreams for your daughter, Seema?" And like that, she slapped her hand down and said, "To be fully human, of course, brave and kind." And so what she taught me was that the most important thing for her daughter was that she would show up and she would love each person that she met in the world, and that was her aspiration for her daughter. And I'll never forget what she said, and it it makes me want to dream bigger for my 2 sons and for who I want them to be in the world.
That's what it meant to me when I heard that. I have a 14-month-old daughter, and my dream for her is the same. I want her to be fully human, and I want people like Diana and others to walk alongside her to show her that she is fully human and that she can be brave and kind. Diana, we thank you for being here this morning with us, and we just pray that God's blessing would be upon you and the many others who sacrificially give of their lives for the sake of peace. And if you're interested in knowing more about Preemptive Love Coalition, I invite you to check out their website, and they have a very active Facebook page that includes some of these stories and other opportunities to be engaged. Thank you.
Thank you so much.